Why did you come up with a question, though, Scott?
Somebody, no, well, I hadn't seen those at that point, but it was the Noah's Ark thing that was, and the religious, it was the intertwining of religious beliefs, odd religious beliefs, and factual beliefs, and odd moral beliefs. And
there was none of that in there. Who was the religious?
But
okay,
well, Noah's Ark is religious.
Oh, but no, that I know it existed.
Well, anyway.
Oh, you know, see, we don't know where the reference.
Right.
Okay, but go.
No, but with respect to those things that were done on those
somebody
needles,
had to make them.
Somebody had to make them.
That's why I thought that's a joke that Jabapi and that somebody making. I said, well, was it you? You know, what I mean, was it this guy? I mean, I knew they were real.
Were made by somebody who was trying to, by an artist who was just trying to fabricate a lie.
Yeah,
those
made by a real person.
Those were technologically very interesting objects.
Okay,
hold
shot
that
of
thought.
him. I mean, the thing about
Did you believe that Obliscus, that this guy did this memory and the perverse thing?
Of course.
You believed all that?
I believe somebody came up with.
Right.
Somebody was trying.
Why are you?
Turn of the century, some metaphysician was trying to figure out.
Why did you then, I think, have a problem with the fact and the fiction?
But well, what they were doing.
There are other exhibits
that were throwing me through a loop. They looked like they the ducks.
No, but they were all true. That was true. Well, wouldn't he say that's true? That's a folk culture thing.
Yeah, you're right.
So the point is,
but it may have no basic. No, it may have no basis in scientific.
Right. No, it happened. I think it's so weird, this stuff, that you think and you honestly thought some of this stuff is made up. But the point is, none of it was made up. Not one bit.
No.
The interesting thing is that you begin to think, oh, this is made up because it's information overload.
Right.
That's what's going on here.
After I said to Connie, what's going on here? This is a mixture of fact and fiction, and I looked at it some more, and I started to ease myself into it some more. Then I started to say, no, these are real belief. This is what people really live and believe. This is
archaeology. This is what happened.
Archaeology.
See, now that's a very interesting point. Of I mean, that's the name of Thompson's book, Imagination, the Imaginative Landscape, Making Worlds of Myth and Science. And he says myth and science, myth is false, and science, they're interpenetrative. Why does one have to point that out? Yet, you experience, that's what Marshall said, the cognition is the making. We hallucinate. When we do an after image, you put something on us, we do physiologically an after image, we change the color.
Yeah.
And Marshall used to wonder, why did humans invert the world's image to see? So we mutate the world in part of our perceptual interaction with it. So is that fact or it's fact, but it seems fictional. So mentally, you walked in and you recovered the initial thing, which is really whether the filtering process. Why did you need to know whether one was fact or fiction? See, it's disorienting. And that's what the subconscious is. The mind is a disorienting thing. But it also stabilizes. So the whole stage of apprehension was acted out by you and me and us as we went into this environment where we had information overload, we had to filter it and categorize it, and we found we couldn't categorize it, so you were puzzled and irritated by that. So that's a manipulating environment, you know what I mean? But why did you think, the only reason you flipped into thinking it was fiction, because it was so new and bizarre. Now the new and the bizarre is the now making, the present perception, and the mind has to cognitively label it or restrict. That's what the mind does, and that's what the Buddhians, when they altered us, they created that factor in us. They limited us, but that unleashed imagination.
I loved his story about the ant and the spore that the ant breathes,
which is the David Attenborough show. That's weird things in nature. It's all pre-programmed.
Yeah, but I think he was, using nature as a metaphor. He was also saying that people came up with these odd meshes of belief, religious and mythical belief, and they mixed them with scientific
with their experience, what they experienced.
That was not a willy-nilly process. That was a process of these breathing in these spores and the Baroque spirals of the mind.
The ant mutated and he would go up.
The Baroque spirals of the subconscious, like you're saying, interacting with the objective, creating.
It's Leonardo da Vinci, man and God. There's a gap, and in the gap is where we name things, control things, and it's our version, but it ain't what it is. But it somehow is mirrors and it has actuality. You know, and this process is the stages of cognition.
Some of the arcane part of the show for me was the odd. See, there was a lot of odd moral ideas.
But that was your projection interpreting those words. You interpreted those words to have moral things.
Yeah, no, they showed people's odd moral.
Let's go back to the Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they now Noah's Ark. That wasn't Noah's Ark. That was a model of Noah's Ark or what? Now there's a good point. Remember that? And you go, well, that isn't really.
Coffin.
It was a coffin, so that wasn't real. So why do they say it's real?
Because in museums you make models of things sometimes.
Okay, it's a model, but what ark are they referring to? Because the Noah's Ark is a good point. That is to you myth. But they're saying, I don't know why that was there. Did someone make it? Whose mind does that represent? What ancient person, scientist? You know what I mean? See, there's a funny thing is that they're mixing things in there. He's lied to us.
No, but this is if you look at the historical belief system and the effects of the Old Testament and the beliefs about Noah, it comprises a massive amount of reality.
Right.
Well, Noah's Ark and the whole story and the fact that it's been perpetuated for generations upon generations and preached from the pulpit and people have believed it. I mean, our world is built on consensual reality about what people believe. That represents a huge chunk of reality because people believed it.
Right.
God believed it.
And that's all humans do. They do make things they believe, yet it's made up from another culture's point of view.
But I think he's saying that we even made that up was a function of breathing in metaphorical spores and coming up with and that, you know, it's like Campbell related a lot of myth back to actual biological functioning in the bodies.
Right. Mystical process.
Humans began to believe this was true because if you look at the way the blood circulates through the kidney, it creates a certain feeling and effect.
Mirror. Nature was the mirror. Now here's the whole Marshall's course. The whole course he taught was called Myth and Media. Myth and Media. But if you read the quote out of the first page of McClune quotes, he was trying to convince people to say that modern movie environments were mythic, in the sense that they were linguistic and language was a myth. So he was taking myth as fact. And then Thompson works on that. But that Noah's Ark, why is that there? Just because it's a model someone made?
Right. They don't just make up the models. They probably have some basis to make a model of it, and then they carry on.
And if you look into the subject, there are people who claim, archaeologists who claim to have found Noah's Ark. That's
and
in
they
the
have. I
record.
know that they have.
Yeah.
They found the second one.
Why are you questioning it then? Because
you're
that's saying that it's a reality.
Who made that?
The model.
Why is that there?
It may be based on these people's research, these archaeologists. We don't know.
Oh, right. We don't know who made that. But you said you were confused by that one. You go, what is this based on? Remember that?
No, I assume that somebody who works with, he may have made that. He worked with miniature models in the cinema. But it was never, nobody ever, he didn't say that who made it. So he never misrepresented who made the model. But this is a model of
he may have misrepresented. He may have misrepresented
what we know about Noah's Ark based on what the archaeologists have dug up.
But what was the context for it being there? Like usually there were themes in the rooms.
Well, it just it does represent a major archetype of the collective unconscious. So it does represent reality.
So would you be able to go back and look at that museum and look at it differently this time?
Oh, I want to go back.
And look at it as fact.
I'll probably go back 2 or 3 times. Yeah, and look at it.
As fact. Forget the disorient. You're used to it.
Yeah. Although I don't know whether Noah's Ark ever really existed or if it grew out of nature of man.
Right. I'd like to know why it's there. Why is that there in that particular room, and what's the theme?
It's a good question.
Yeah, so it is unanswered at this point.
Well, no, there was a plaque on the side that talked about it.
Right.
Just a shift.
Yeah, we didn't read everything.
I mean, Carolyn, there were little salts. There were these cures.
Let's go.
Okay. It was all fact.